What's up? Dennis here, Analog Archives. All right. What I'm going to do here, basically going to be top 10 Halloween or horror movies to watch during the Halloween season on VHS. And the main reason I like to watch these movies in particular on VHS, I mean, I like to watch a lot of movies on VHS, but for like 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s movies, 40s, I like to watch them on VHS just because I get more of a feel to like how the movie feels, the atmosphere. I just like the fact that I have something in my hand that actually like has technically film in it. So it's almost like you have that film in your hand, and every time you watch it, it does change. Like maybe the tape like bends a little bit or squirms. You get a flicker on the screen. It just reminds me of going to the movies when you were watching those 35mm prints and something would fuck up on there, and you just don't have control of it, but it doesn't really affect the movie. It just makes it better, especially for a lot of these films. So that's why I picked this video to do. I just think it adds more atmosphere to the movies and makes them even better. Newer movies, like all that digital shit, like you could just watch that. It doesn't matter on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. But on these, I mean, I like to watch them on VHS. So without further ado, here goes my list. What we're drinking here is a revision. This is a New England style hazy IPA. Good stuff. So let's get started. These are kind of a little bit in order, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. Tombs of the Blind Dead, awesome atmospheric zombie movie, I guess you could say. Just a great movie. The zombies are super awesome looking, as you can see right there. You know, cult movie for sure. This is on the Paragon big box. Lots of atmosphere in this movie. You could just throw it on in the background while people are over or whatever, and it's just, I mean, it'll take over the room. Thick fog and just fucking amazing fucking atmosphere on this one. Great fucking movie. If you haven't seen it, check out Tombs of the Blind Dead. All right, up next we have another zombie flick, but this is more of a zombie flick. Gates of Hell. This is a Fulci flick. This is basically City of the Living Dead. They renamed it for the US release. This is on Paragon. I remember going to see this in the theater. I think I was about 12 or so, and maybe younger. I remember they wouldn't let us in because we were too young. It was one of those movies where you had to be 17 or no one was admitted. But for some reason, I was able to finagle my mom into taking me and my buddy to the theater. And telling the guys, like, yeah, you could just let him in, it's fine. So we had parental consent, I guess, and they let us in. I mean, back then, the movie theaters, they didn't give a shit who came in there as long as you were paying, right? And, you know, it was a super barf bag gross out. Lots of gore in this. Super atmospheric. One of my favorite zombie movies. There was, like, a younger kid in front of us, and we were like, you shouldn't watch this, kid. And the scene where the woman vomits up all her intestines, the kid ran out of the theater. I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, it's super fucking gnarly fucking flick. Check it. Up next, here's a classic I saw on TV. Dark Night of the Scarecrow, man. Really good revenge flick. You really want the villain in this movie to get what he deserves. All the guys that fucked around with this guy. So great, almost a supernatural type of movie, but revenge flick on Key Video, man, really good, awesome flick. And this one, Gates of Hell is from 80, and Tombs is from 72. This one is from 70. I don't remember the date on this one, but it's, I want to say 77 or so, somewhere around there. But yeah, check this one out if you haven't. If you like, I mean, in all these movies, these are all, I would technify? I would I would technically say they're all like scary movies. They're all like real horror movies. They're not like, there's not a lot of humor in these movies, which I like. That's what I like to watch. I mean, the next ones I show, it's going to be more lighthearted. So, up next, all-time classic from 1982, The Thing. This is a version I bought from, I can't remember the name of the artist that did this, but he does a lot of like black metal and death metal stuff. I also got the shirt. He was doing this promo where if you bought the shirt, you got this VHS case as well. Inside is just the normal copy, the MCA copy, because it was just the case, but I really like this cover. So I put that. I also have here's another MCA that's a sealed copy, but I have a few copies of this on different versions of VHS. But, you know, what are you going to say, man? John Carpenter, masterpiece. Obviously, it's a remake, but it's nothing like the original. Great special effects by Rob Bottin. Just fucking amazing monster transformations and acting from Kurt Russell. Just, man, claustrophobic in the fucking snow. Just, you get that just atmosphere that just really you can't get away from. And I remember I saw that movie when I was like, I don't remember how old I was, but I was at a Christmas party, and they didn't have anything for me to do, so I was watching. You know, they had like Showtime or something, and I saw that movie was on, and my mom wasn't watching what I was doing, so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch this fucking movie because I've been wanting to watch this. It scared the shit out of me, man, but I loved it. Always have ever since. But yeah, imagine watching that as a kid, and like you're just like, oh shit, what the fuck did I just watch? Up next, another great movie from '79, Tourist Trap. Oh man, this is a really bizarre fucking movie with fucking Chuck Connors plays a demented fucking mannequin expert. I don't even know what to call him, but yeah, he controls mannequins. I'm not gonna get into it, but super creepy. Barbie Benton's in this. Just a fucking underrated classic. It's up there with all the classics, I think, from the 70s. I think everybody should check this out for Halloween. It's going to freak the shit out of you. Guaranteed, if you haven't seen it. Up next, a fucking classic. Another one I saw. A lot of these I saw when I was really young, so they stuck with me. This one's Carrie. So yeah, this movie scared the crap out of me. 1976. I don't remember how old I was when I saw this. Probably like 10 or so. But yeah, shit. I saw this on TV at my friend's house. His mom was cool. She would always let us watch horror movies when we went over there. Even though it was on TV, didn't matter. I mean, there's not a super amount to cut out of this movie. So you pretty much get the whole movie. In the ending scene where her hand comes out, fucking Jesus Christ, man. I don't think I've been that scared in my life. But yeah, Carrie. Such a great movie. Sissy Spacek's great in it. This is the old United Artists release on magnetic video. Love this copy. Most of these, that Tourist Trap is a cool one too. It's a later release on Phantom Video, which is super rare. I love that copy. I would love to get an earlier media one as well. But up next, another Stone Cold classic over here from, what year is this? 80? I want to say 80. Yeah, 80. The Fog. Another John Carpenter classic. Super atmospheric again. I mean, it's going to be, right? You got fog and you got fucking zombie pirates coming back for revenge. When the fog rolls in, the terror begins. Such a great atmospheric fucking horror movie. I'm going to say atmospheric a lot in this video, but it's true. Jamie Lee Curtis in this. Just a fucking nightmarish film. Hal Holbrook plays a great character. Such great acting in this. Adrienne Barbeau. So yeah, check this one out. The Fog. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this. But yeah, The Fog. Up next, Evil Dead, yeah. And such a great movie, 1982, I want to say. But yeah, Evil Dead, such a great fucking movie. I'm not a big fan of the sequels, but this one, always loved it. I remember a kid at school went and saw it, and I wasn't able to go see it. But I remember when it first came out on video, I went to the video store, and back then we had these places called Photoshop, and Photoshop was like a camera place, but they also like rented movies. And I rented this, and I rented another VCR, and this was actually the first movie I recorded from VCR to VCR. I still have that tape, but it doesn't really play well. I tried to play it the other day, and it was just like, I was like, oh shit, this thing's gonna break my fucking VCR. But yeah, back then you could rent VCRs because they were so expensive. You couldn't just go buy one for $50. They were like $300. So I had a VCR, but I couldn't record movies. So you can record, you can like rent the VCR for like $10 a night or something like that back then. So I rented a few movies and recorded them. This was the main one I wanted. Evil Dead, massive, again, a lot of atmosphere, low budget, tons of gore, just fucking straight up horror. And then obviously it went into more comedy. They just remade it with Evil Dead 2 and just added in Three Stooges type shit. And then Evil Dead 3, which just is a flat out like sword and sorcery comedy type thing. But I mean, I'd rather watch Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness just because it knows what it is. It's not trying to, I don't know, one up Evil Dead, I guess. But anyways, Evil Dead, Stone Cold classic, one of my top favorite horror movies. Obviously a huge influence on death metal. So many like bands sing about that movie because it was a huge horror movie back then. It was a fucking scary movie. A lot of these kids today, they're like, oh yeah, that movie's cheesy, man, it's hella funny. I'm like, it's not fucking funny, dude. It's not supposed to be funny. You don't understand. That's just the way that effects were back then. You didn't have digital effects. You didn't have fucking all this fucking technology. You know what I mean? And you had a fucking you had latex, you had stop motion, you used what you could use, and that's how you made a movie. And if it looked pretty realistic, then it was fucking badass. And it took a lot of work to do. So, yeah, anyways. All right, up next, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh yeah, the Evil Dead was on Thorny MI, the original release. And this one again is on Wizard Video. I've showed this one in I think I showed this one before in one of my videos. Yeah, love this release. I have a couple different copies, the media and I forgot what other company put it out. But it was like a low budget Video Treasures or something. I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, it's the same movie. They didn't do shit to it. And I don't really watch this copy. I watched this one. And this I recorded off TV when I was a kid. It is basically, it was done through Bob Shaw on Channel 2 in 1987. It was the first time they played this on TV as far as he knew, and Channel 2 was going to get to play it, and he was the host. So it's got him hosting on it, just talking about the movie, certain aspects of it, and basically saying what a badass movie it is. And it's all got all the commercials and everything. The nostalgia of this one and it being on tape, I'd love to watch this version. I mean, they don't cut out much. I mean, there's like warnings constantly throughout. Warning, this movie contains graphic violence and scenes of terror and whatnot. But anybody that's seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre knows that, yeah, it's violent, but it doesn't have a lot of gore. It doesn't hardly have any gore in it. So they didn't really have to cut out much, so you're not missing much on this movie. Whatever they trimmed out was very minimal. And he even says that. They're like, we didn't really trim much out of this movie. So yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Bob Shaw, rest in peace, brother. Up next, Halloween, 1978. Yeah, I mean, you gotta watch Halloween, right? It's a no-brainer. and you got to watch it on VHS. This movie's so much better on VHS, in my opinion. Whether it's this version, the Mita version, or the version after this, the all black that has it does have the TV scenes included in that one. I have 2 copies of that one. And even there's I think they have, I have one with a lenticular cover, and those ones have been a little bit remastered, so I like to stick to these ones. Even the first DVD they put out, I think Anchor Bay put it out, they didn't really do much to it. That one's good to watch too. But yeah, you gotta watch Halloween. Number one, I mean, classic slasher, right? I mean, who doesn't watch Halloween for Halloween, right? All right, up next. Now, these movies are just more movies that I think are fun to watch during Halloween. They're not stone cold classics. I mean, some are. Whoa. Let's backtrack. Some are stone cold classics. They're just, you can watch them however. You don't have to watch these on VHS, although some of them are only available on VHS, so I guess you do kind of have to. The Haunting, great ghost story. Shirley Jackson, House on Haunted Hill, based on that book. Haunting of Hill House, not House on Haunted Hill, which is another good one to watch. But yeah, Haunting of Hill House, she wrote the book. This was the movie that they made from it. It's a Robert Wise flick. Yeah, and this one's on MGM. If you haven't seen this, check it out. I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, it's from the 60s. I don't want to watch it. But yeah, no, this is a scary-ass fucking movie. Probably one of the best ghost movies ever made. Haunting movies, I guess. Don't watch that fucking lame-ass sequel bullshit. Not sequel, but remake. Here's another good one. Amityville Horror. And this is in the Warner Brothers Clam. Such a great movie based on, the events of the Lutz family. Super eerie. Great how just the house taking over these people's personality and, with the occult involved and whatnot. Just makes for a scary ass movie. One of the first movies I ever saw on VHS. I had to go to a friend's house because no one had a VCR. And he had this and Boogeyman. And we watched both of them. Scared the shit out of me. Good stuff. Another movie that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. That was 79. This one's from 73. Exorcist. Warner Brothers. This is the big box. It's got like some info inside and whatnot. I love this version. I have like 3 copies of this. But this is a really nice minty copy. Yeah, what are you going to say? Fucking one of the best possession movies ever made. Fucking Conjuring, all that bullshit can fuck off, man. This is where it sits as far as demonic possession movies go. It's just a fucking stone cold classic with fucking Dick Smith effects. Way ahead of its time when it came out. I mean, you can read all about it, how it scared the shit out of everybody. Scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Being raised Catholic, man, that shit, man, that shit's real. Like, in the Catholic religion, there really is a devil. So when you're a kid and you watch something like that, it's like a fucking documentary, man. Just scary ass shit. Here's a fun one. Creep Show, 1982. Man, George Romero and Stephen King. This is the best anthology ever made, in my opinion. I mean, you could try to prove me wrong, but you're not going to. It's fucking Creep Show, man. Everybody knows it. Creep Show 2 was kind of a meh. It was alright, but they had a troubled production and whatnot. I get it. But this Stephen King stories with Romero directing and Savini effects, Jesus, it's fucking amazing. Alright. These next ones are going to be kind of based on, right around Halloween time. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, MCA Rainbow Edition. Everybody loves that rainbow. All the collectors got to get that rainbows. This was from 82. And everybody was pissed because it didn't have Michael Myers in it. And the whole thing was, Carpenter wanted to do a horror movie every year. And he was just going to call it Halloween 3, Halloween 4, whatever. And it would just be different movies. But he didn't let the public know that. So people went in and they were just like, what the fuck? Where's Michael Myers? But yeah, it's a great story with the masks and fucking Tom Atkins in it. So, I mean, you know what you're going to get when you get some Atkins, right? He's awesome in it. Yeah, it's just I'm not going to say too much about the movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a really good mind control flick. Up next, here's a good one. Rocktober Blood. This one's hilarious. Guy's in a rock band, metal. I wouldn't say metal. He looks like Mike Reno from fucking Loverboy. Has a band, decides to start killing people when they're recording a record. Gets executed. His girlfriend comes back, or she thinks he comes back. His girlfriend takes over the band for some reason. Makes no fucking sense, but he comes back, starts killing everyone, but it's not really him. It's his twin brother. Spoiler alert! Rocktober Blood. Check it out. Up next, another fun one to watch during Halloween. Hack-O-Lantern, aka Halloween Night. Yeah, this is an awesome flick. Gotta love that cover too. This actually has a performance by DC LaCroix. I believe that's how you pronounce their name. A female-fronted metal band. Sorry about the glare. But this is this guy's grandpa is like a Satanist. It's got the worst villain ever. Like his grandpa's a Satanist that's like trying to turn him over to like Satanism and kill all these people. He's in this cult, and yeah, it's pretty bad. As far as the story goes, the villain's horrible, but it's a fun movie. It's got some cool kills in it. It definitely has cool kills with some guy in a cool mask as well. Love that movie. Up next, another one that's pretty funny. The killer's not very... Hollow Gate, another one where the killer's not very intimidating. He's just like some middle-aged, like mental health patient that gets these kids over to his house to deliver some costumes and starts killing them. But yeah, it's a fun movie on City Lights, and this one was 88. What was the other one? Rocktober Blood was 84, and Hack-O-Lantern was 88. So yeah, both those 88. All those are fun slashers. Just check them out. Here's a really fun one too. Blood Freak. This is a fucking amazing movie. Everyone should see Blood Freak. It's got a guy that does marijuana and turns into a fucking turkey monster and then starts killing people. Yeah, I just said that, and it is fucking hilarious. I don't remember the year on this one. I did not write it down. Blood Freak, 70s movie. I might say on the back. It does not. They didn't want you to know when it was made. Otherwise, you wouldn't rent it. I'm glad I fucking bought this, so it's an amazing movie. Here's another fun one. Spookies. This is a fucking great movie. Look at that Richard Corbin art on there. This is from 86. This is a weird flick because it doesn't make sense, because it was like two different directors that made the movie and then they put them together to make this movie, but it's got lots of fucking rubber monsters and kind of a wraparound story that doesn't make sense, and zombies and all sorts of stuff. It's just a mishmash of everything you'd want for a Halloween movie. But yeah, check this one out. Spookies. Great effects. I think Gabe Bartolos did a lot of the effects. Jennifer Aspinall, who did Toxic Avenger, she did some of the stuff. Here's another. All these are pretty fun movies. Don't Go in the Woods. And the VHS copy is just Don't Go in the Woods. On the movie, it said Don't Go in the Woods and then ... alone. But this one, you can go in the woods alone. Just don't go at all. Don't Go in the Woods. Another backwoods slasher with like a guy living out in the woods that just kills people in a lot of cool ways. It's got hilarious dialogue, hilarious acting. It's fucking amazing, man. I love this movie. So fun. Just a fun watch. Makes no fucking sense whatsoever, but it's fucking awesome. Up next, man, I love this movie too. The Gate. Yeah, this movie scared the shit out of my son when he watched it. I think it still scares them a little bit, but we still watch it. The Gate. This is like another like heavy metal type of movie where the guy listens to the metal band Sacrifice, and it opens up this gate, this portal in the back of his yard. All these little demons and shit come out and wreak havoc, and it's got really good special effects, and it's just a cool story. Just awesome shit. Check out The Gate if you haven't. Another fun one, Video Dead, another zombie movie. Zombie comes out of a TV, obviously. Cool. Just a cool movie in general. Really fun. You know, low budget shit, but I love this movie. On Embassy. Oh, The Gate was 87. This one, did I write down the date? I think it's 88. No, 87. Video Dead. Oh. Yep. Night of the Creeps, another great one. Kind of a coming of age type of movie, but involves like alien slugs that get inside your brain. Basically take over and make you a zombie. It's got a lot of gore. Again, Tom Atkins plays an awesome cop in it. Yeah, it's got kind of another story attached to it that's pretty cool, but yeah. I'm not going to say that much about it, but if you haven't seen Night of the Creeps, it's a fun one. Another zombie one, Burial Ground. Yeah, man. Italian Gut Muncher. Got to watch Burial Ground. It's got a kid and his mom, and it's got an infamous scene where he bites the mom's tit off, which is fucking amazing. But the kid's actually played by a midget. That's fucking such a weird fucking movie, but the zombies are fucking sick in this movie. Tons of gore. Just a fucking classic, man. I think that's from, I want to say 80 or 81. Yeah, 81, Burial Ground. And then last, I just picked some, I like to watch a lot of like compilations during Halloween. I just put them on in the background. Terror in the Aisles, another one. I saw this, I think on like, another one I saw on like Showtime or Movie Channel or something, HBO back in the day. Just has a bunch of movies, Halloween, American Werewolf in London, Jaws. It says all the names of the movies on the skull, which is cool. But then it has some like kind of non-horror stuff in here, like Nighthawks or something with Stallone, and Blow Up with Travolta, I believe. I can't really recall, but I remember that going, what the fuck, dude? Why is this on here? Like, that's not a horror movie. But just check that out. It's a good one just to watch. I mean, just a bunch of I think it's all Universal movies, but I could be wrong. This one's fun. Monster Mania. This one's cool. It came out in like 86 or 87. 87. Right? I don't know. 89? Oh, 91. This came out in 91. Sorry, I'm trying to read my writing. Fucking 91. Yeah, man. This is good. Just a bunch of old school classic monster stuff. Just trailers. A lot of some sci-fi stuff on here. But yeah, man. Another one you just throw on in the background. I know this recently came out on DVD or Blu-ray with a different cover, but I like the original cover. Just fucking... You gotta like the old school shit. Right along with this one, Horrible Horror. This has Zachary. He was like a horror host, not in my area, but he came out with this, and 50 vintage films, the best of the worst horror and sci-fi ultimate party tape. Again, just a lot of trailers and scenes from movies from back in the day. Just really killer shit. Super fun to watch. And that one came out in 86. This one came out in 87, probably my favorite of the compilations. Mad Ron's Previews from Hell. Such a great movie as far as just tons of trailers. This has like 50 trailers on it. 70s and 80s trailers, just low budget stuff. Stuff you don't see every day, with like a little wraparound story with some zombies in the movie theater eating popcorn and stuff. It's just a really, really fun movie to watch, especially during Halloween season. Highly recommend that one. Right along with this one, I never get tired of this one. Terror on Tape. Just another fun one. This one's on Continental. So I think it just has Continental movies on it. I know it has Scalps, Nightmare, Alien Prey, yeah, Blood Feast, Kathy's Curse. So yeah, Color Me Blood Red. A lot of H.G. Lewis on here. Fun stuff, like the guys in a video store just recommending movies, and then they show like parts of the movies in the trailers. So yeah, man, I love this stuff. Great stuff. So yeah, that's about it. Let me know what you think. Take a look at some of these movies. Write me in the comments.